Madam President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate temporarily set aside all pending amendments so that I may offer my amendment number 1580.
Is there objection? Objection is heard.
Madam President, the amendment that I would have called up had not the majority party objected is an amendment that would have corrected one of the most egregious aspects of the Gang of Eight bill. Namely, it is a penalty that is imposed on U.S. employers for hiring U.S. citizens and for hiring legal permanent residents. It is a striking result of the Gang of Eight bill as it intersects with the ObamaCare legislation. Let me explain how it operates. Right now, Madam President, for any company with 50 or more employees, if that company does not provide a sufficiently high-dollar health insurance policy for low-income workers, that company faces a fine of $3,000 per worker. Moreover, that fine is not deductible on the company's taxes, which means, as an effective matter to the company, the penalty is in the order of $5,000 per employee when you factor in the tax consequences. That is the present status quo under Obamacare. That is the penalty that is visited upon U.S. employers for hiring U.S. citizens and for hiring legal immigrants. Now, what does the Gang of Eight bill do to change that? Well, the Gang of Eight bill takes some 11 million people who are here illegally, and it grants them what is called RPI status, registered provisional immigrants. Now, I have many concerns about legalization prior to securing the border, but this concern is altogether separate from that. And it is the simple reality that anyone granted RPI status, anyone granted legalization under the Gang of Eight bill, is exempted from Obamacare, which means that the employers who would be hiring them do not face the Obamacare tax of $5,000 per employee, whether U.S. citizen or legal immigrant. Now, what does this mean in reality? Let's take an example, a simple hypothetical. Madam President, I would ask you to envision a small business, Joe's Burger Shack. Joe's Burger Shack is owned by a small business owner. It is a series of small fast food restaurants in any given state. It could be my home state of Texas or any state across the Union. Now, let's assume that Joe's Burger Shack has 100 employees. And Joe's Burger Shack with 100 employees, business is doing relatively well. People are eating more hamburgers. Joe decides he wants to hire 5 more people. Now, if Joe and Joe's Burger Shack decides they want to hire 5 more people, if Joe chooses to hire 5 U.S. citizens, or if he chooses to hire 5 legal permanent residents, 5 legal immigrants, Joe faces a penalty of $25,000 for doing so, $5,000 apiece, right off his bottom line to the IRS. In contrast, if Joe decides instead to hire 5 RPIs who came here illegally, among those 11 million who are here illegally but granted RPI legalization under the Gang of Eight bill, Joe pays a penalty of $0. Madam President, let me ask a simple common sense question. In this instance, Joe, the small business owner, who is Joe going to hire?